start with our pledge to the flag. And if we will have Miss Lisa Bickus lead us.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Bickus?
here.
Travis?
Here.
Lewandowski?
Here.
Ives?
Here.
Johnson?
Here.
Shaw?
Here.
Lopez Caniva?
Here. All right, we'll start with our Eagle Scout, Brent Haller.
Tonight we're honoring many students, and we're going to start off with Brent Paller. Whereas Brent Paller, a freshman student at Lockport Township High School, District 205, has achieved Eagle Scout status, the highest rank awarded by the Boy Scouts of America, for his project at the center in Payless Park, in which he restored a fire pit and benches. His leadership consisted of taking on the role of Assistant Patrol Leader for Troop 318 and Den Chief for Pack 372. Whereas Brent Paller has brought honor and distinction to himself, his family, school, community, Scoutmasters, and Troop 318 by achieving this status and earning 32 merit badges. And whereas Brent Paller has aided and guided in these achievements by his family and Scoutmaster Mr. Tabor. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Board of Education of Lockport Township High School, District 205, Will County, Illinois, on this 3rd day of May, 2021. Congratulations, Brent Paller.
On behalf of the Board of Education, Brent, and your parents and family, we congratulate you, and we feel very honored that you achieved this greatest achievement. Thank you. All right. Okay. And the Porter players.
Whereas student artists Riley Bresnahan, Aiden Callahan, and Nora Galogli were named all sectional cast and along with the ensemble took 2nd place in the sectional tournament held March 20th, 2021 at Lockport Virtual Sectionals. Whereas student artists Riley Bresnahan, Aiden Callahan, and Nora Galogli brought honor and distinction to themselves, their families, school, and communities as they were named all-state cast at the state tournament, which was held March 26th and 27th, 2021 at the Revis Virtual State Competition. And whereas Dr. Laura Gilbert, Ms. Kenny Musage, and Mr. Patrick Dean, directors of the group interpretation, Alfred Hitchcock's Rear Window, adapted for the stage by Laura Gilbert, have aided and guided Riley Bresnahan, Aiden Callahan, and Nora Galogli in these accomplishments. Now, therefore, it be resolved by the Board of Education of Lockport Township High School, District 205, Will County, Illinois, that Riley Bresnahan, Aiden Callahan, and Nora Galogli are hereby recognized for these accomplishments, and that this resolution was passed by the Lockport Township High School, District 205, Board of Education on this 3rd day of May, 2021. Congratulations.
Riley, Aiden, and Nora, on behalf of the Board of Education, congratulations to you and your family. You've done so much to got this great achievement, and we're very proud of you. Thank you. Right, going on then to 2021 IHSA Co-ed Cheerleading State Champions.
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. It is now time to honor and recognize our state champion co-ed cheerleading team. We are going to give them just a minute to get lined up here. As you can see, we have quite the representation this evening. I would like to mention that head coach Jenny Krumlindi could not be present this evening as she is coaching cheerleading in Florida. However, assistant coach Dana Ziemba is here, as well as the team. This resolution is recognizing the LTHS co-ed cheer team for receiving the title of 2021 IHSA co-ed cheerleading state champions. Whereas Jada Bender, Hannah Betcher, Alyssa Katimas, Alyssa Connell, Olivia Zaplicki, Naya Ditter, Nina Fiorillo, Grace Gadd, Isabella Gertuga, Ava Judge, Grace Kelly, Amber Lamort, Ashley Leaney, Jake McEntee, Megan Metcher, Marissa Pasco, Alyssa Pickett Klimek, Isabella Purpura, Bianca Ritchie, Madison Seymour, Emmy Swice, Grady Travis, Jessica Venerka, and Lexi Rona, all students at Lockport Township High School District 205, have earned the championship title in the IHSA State Finals on March 13th, 2021, virtually in Lockport, Illinois. And whereas the LTHS co-ed cheer team has brought honor and distinction to themselves, their families, school, and community by achieving this respected status. And now, therefore, be it resolved by the Board of Education of Lockport Township High School District 205, Will County, Illinois, that this resolution was adopted on this third day of May 2021. Congratulations to the cheerleading team.
All right, cheerleading team, on behalf of the Board of Education, congratulations to all of you and to your parents, and thank you again for bringing another big championship to our school. We are definitely proud of you. Thank you. Okay, next we have the resolution recognizing Lisa Bickus for her service to the Board of Education for 8 years. Whereas Lisa Bickus, Lockport Township High School District 205 Board of Education Vice President, has served as board member for 8 years, and whereas Lisa Bickus has brought honor and distinction to herself, her family, school, and community by achieving this respected title of school board member. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Education of Lockport Township High School District 205, Will County, Illinois, that this resolution was adopted on this third day of May 2021.
Bittersweet. Okay, guys. I just want to say how humbly grateful I have been able to serve this community for the last 8 years as a board member and acting vice president. It has been an honor. So this morning, I couldn't decide if I wanted to start with walking down with all the things we've accomplished as board members, or quietly say goodbye, say I'll miss you. So I decided instead, and I'm sorry, to give out accolades. But first, let's start with one thing that is so important to our school, and that's our mission statement. And I think it's so important that you here in the audience hear this. We have so few that attend our school board meetings here, but tonight is a great thing for you guys to hear this. So our mission is to create a nurturing and challenging environment which all students achieve success, develop personal responsibility, and become lifelong learners. We promote a partnership with our students, our parents, our businesses, and our communities, utilizing effective teaching methods and current technology. Provide a quality and comprehensive academic and career and extracurricular experiences. That's an amazing mission statement, and this board has done this. So I'm glad to say I'm very proud of that. So I'm calming down now. I remember my first day and my first meeting as a school board member. My first vote was to refinish these tennis courts. It was amazing cost to the school, but it was so amazing that I had to sit with Bill Thompson, and I became best friends for the first few board meetings. Nearly every item on his list I went through for the first few months. And to be honest, I thought that was the best experience as a board member. So Bill, if you're here, I can't see you, you have taught me a lot about how difficult it is to run two buildings safely for our 4,000 students and for our faculty. We appreciate you, this board appreciates you. And I'm sure when you retire, your replacement will have big shoes to fill. The next 6 months I spent going over the finances and budgets and spending, asking questions I'm sure that have been covered before. But graciously, Stephanie made sure that I had clarity and I was comfortable before I casted my vote. Stephanie, we are fortunate to have you as the Director of Business Services, keeping us fiscally responsible and making it easy for the board to understand our month-to-month expenses. Thank you. Tony, what can I say? You're in the perfect position. Your ability to walk us through so many situations and mitigate our risks, you have done an outstanding job for us. Your relationship with the staff and your colleagues has been patient, professional, and caring. And your amazing ability to hire the right teachers to fit this culture. Thank you. Carrie, you're the one I cried for when I started doing this. You are impressive among your peers. You have the ability to speak the truth always, and the compassion you have is never ending. You and I have a lot in common. We love these children. We love this community. My first conversation with you and I and Dennis Hicks was, I think I missed my calling. I should have been a teacher like my mother. But you said to me, Lisa, God puts us where we're supposed to be. And guess what, Carrie? You're supposed to be here too. But so my words of wisdom back to you tonight is be not afraid to take the next steps where God takes you, because you will always be successful. Dr. Greenan, I didn't forget you. John, I've just met you. And over the last 2 years, you've been incredible. You've inspired your colleagues to be better than they can be. You have created a new you, and it shows, and your peers show that it's possible. I call you the gentle giant to myself and in my prayers. And your leadership and confidence will help us and help our children be all they can be. There are far too many thank yous personally to give all of you guys, from Kathy, Lori, Matt, Angela, Janine, and Susan. You all will have personal hand thank notes, and Tony will have them in his file for you as well. But I did not forget you, Dr. McBride. Your addition to our community has strengthened us to be better, to look beyond the normal, and to think differently than the rest. Our children and our community have become yours. It is like you have been here forever in this position. You're a breath of fresh air to this school board, and I cannot thank you enough for keeping our children safe and our faculty safe. You are the one who have stretched the horizons by doing it with more energy, enthusiasm, and a big heart for this community that you barely know, and they're just getting to know you. So my final words to you is to continue to mentor your team as they are lifelong learners and they enjoy your guidance. You guys aren't last. To my board colleagues, thank you for your leadership and your commitment to our students, our staff, and our communities. I appreciate you, your dedication, and your compassion. Together we come as one to provide our students, our staff, with the tools and the education and the experience to lead them into the future. And you should be so proud of what we accomplished over the last 8 years, of course, with me by your side. Each of us brings our own gifts, which have been given to you by God, to this table. Please continue to use it and continue the mission of this school. I will miss all of you. For the class of 2021, the faculty, the families sitting out here, may God bless you with wisdom in each decision, strength in each responsibility, success in each endeavor, joy in each commitment, peace in each relationship, and love in everything you do. Thank you.
Seems like I've been crying all weekend. My son got married this Saturday, and it's just like I've been crying. So Lisa, you're always making me cry now, too. So I know it is your last board meeting, and I just want to tell you on behalf of the Board of Education how I personally thank you for serving on our board, for your dedication and support to Lockport Township High School. School board members have an incredible burden of responsibility that we have on our shoulders to be good stewards on money and creating policy, in particular that create pathways for our students to be successful. Lisa, thank you for those 8 years. Right? Thank you. Next.
Just before I jump in with National Teacher Appreciation Week and its meaning in our hearts right now, just a couple quick things. One, thank you very much. What a classy thing, you know, as people came in, sometimes I come to these events and the minute you get your acknowledgement, you leave. But what a great group to see that other people are here to acknowledge and you're staying. Now, you don't have to stay for when we do our business on you know, proving the student discipline code or anything like that. But I'm just so grateful that you're staying to see everyone acknowledged. Also, just on board members, just a little piece. You know, these people are actually, you want to look for democracy in your community? And this isn't a speech on democracy. You'll find them in your school board. It's the only place really in America left where these are volunteers who stand for election to run your public school. And also, I'm indebted to Lisa Bickus's parents, who are sitting right there. You have a great daughter, to her husband, Greg, because we know that none of us who are in leadership or doership of anything, just like our cheerleaders and all the young people here, none of us did it alone. But most of us probably had a good teacher. The Talmud, the great holy book of Judaism, says that a good parent is worth 1 coin. A good teacher is worth 2. And I've always respected teachers, but my respect grew in all the formalities when I've worked in Asia. There's so much formality around teachers. If I had enough room here, the appropriate thing for me to do if I was in Japan while I was working in Japan would be to kind of come around here and bow to these teachers here as low as I can go, all the way down to the floor, my forehead touching the floor. That's kind of reverence that people in Japan and China treat their teachers. I want to read this resolution. It's interesting. Mr. Kandari shared with me, we had a meeting with our union on February 6th, and 2020, before this pandemic, was a glimmer in our eye, and we talked to our union leaders about professional learning community teams and what could we do to keep those teams moving forward in a way that would be powerful for our teachers. Little did we know all the issues that we would be through from that day until this. And I would just ask everybody here to reject a phrase. There's a phrase going around which I think really does disservice to our teachers, and it's the phrase learning loss. I think the students here are testaments that there hasn't been a learning loss, maybe a school loss, but there's never been a time in my 32 years that I've worked in public education that teachers have ever worked harder for their students, and that's a fact. It's just hidden. It's not as seen. It's behind the scenes, but it's no less intense. It's no less difficult. So this week is really very meaningful indeed. Resolution recognizing the Lockport Township High School teaching staff for their daily contributions to the students, staff members, parents, guardians, district office administration, Board of Education, and Lockport Township community. Whereas the Lockport Township High School teaching staff have brought honor and distinction to themselves, their respective school buildings, and our high school district through their tireless work ethic, commitment to others, grace under pressure, communication with stakeholders, vision for improvement, and empathy for the challenges faced by students and staff members, particularly in the time of a global pandemic. Whereas the Lockport Township High School teaching staff embody on a daily basis an understanding that their success and accomplishments are part of a broader team effort in living out the slogans, best self, best work, and together we succeed. Now, therefore, be it resolved on this third day of May 2021 by the Board of Education of Lockport Township High School District 205 that the Lockport Township High School teaching staff are hereby recognized for their service, commitment, and contribution as part of Teacher Appreciation Week 2021. And our union president, Karen Cooper, is going to accept this, but could I just have all of our teachers who came tonight, could you stand up so we could acknowledge all of you? Would you mind doing that? I don't mean to put you on the spot, but you deserve it. Come on now. Karen, come on up. That's okay.
And I couldn't bring everybody.
Yeah, you go wherever you'd like to go.
Thank you. If I can make it on the step.
Yeah.
Look at my neck, so, all right. First, I would like to acknowledge the contributions of outgoing board member Elisa Bickus. Your hard work has not gone unnoticed. On behalf of the membership, I would like to thank you for the contributions that you have made to better this district and support both students and staff. Good luck in your future endeavors. And tonight, I stand before everybody on behalf of the entire staff that has been committed to delivering the best education possible to our students under the wildest conditions possible. I can't stand here alone, though. So as much as I would love to have brought everybody with me, I asked a couple people to kind of represent, and I don't know if they're people that you guys have met, but I would love to introduce them to you. And so I think that they are a fantastic sample of the hard work that goes on here. First, Karen Murphy. She's second in from, step forward just a little bit, Karen, sorry. Okay, it's easier, all right. So if you've never met Karen, she has been a teacher in the science department for 23 years. She has taught every level of biology, anatomy, and physiology, including specialty classes that were blocked with English and math. Beyond the classroom, she is always looking for opportunities to engage students in rich science experiences. She has been a sponsor of the Science Club and is currently involved in Argonne's exemplary, I can say that, student research program. As a sponsor for Argonne ESRP, she helps coordinate and lead a student research team that works on a research project that lasts the entire school year. An awesome opportunity. This year has been quite a challenge for our science teachers. How do you get kids to experience real labs? Our teachers, many of our lab classes, how do you do it with social distancing? And so the science department has had to reinvent themselves this year. And with the challenges of trying to find quality experience for students this year, Karen and Bob Champlin started hosting alumni STEM speakers or seminars where people would come in and talk through Google Classroom and meet with the kids about different careers in the STEM field. And then as an AP teacher also, they've all had a lot of challenges. And so they're trying to struggle with how to expose the students to that curriculum and prepare them. And so I know that the science AP teachers have all prepared to spend, I think, at least 6 sessions outside of regular school time to try to get the kids ready. So Karen is just one of our examples of hardworking teachers in action. Robert Beach, if you step forward just a step or two. He's a teacher. He is, but he's in his 2nd year as a counselor, but in that role, he's a teacher. And so prior to that, he did teach social studies for 10 years, and he's also coached several sports. And he is a Porter alumni like myself. So Porters, here we go. So many staff roles for the counselors and deans and nurses have changed dramatically this year. And one thing he said to me was, this has been a challenging time of many people. As a school counselor in this district, I have gone above and beyond communicating with students and families, making sure that I'm helping them succeed as best I can. I have helped students with their academic, career, and social emotional needs in a number of ways, and I will continue to be there for my students at all times. I think that this statement speaks to the dedication of our counselors and deans. Rob's also working as one of our interventionists. I know you guys have approved those positions, and so he's one of our interventionists where he works with a small group of seniors who need a little extra support, making sure that they can make their graduation requirements for the year. He has also been instrumental with administration on tracking the seniors for completing community service, which from our last board meeting, I know that was a hot topic. And he has told me that he wants to stay on and be working with administration on improving that. And again, that was something that I know came up. And so he's also co-sponsor of the Student Equity Action Committee along with Andrea Cobbett. I know that may be a place where you guys have met him before. But I think that he has done phenomenal things for the school, and he's a great representation of our counselors and how fantastic that they have worked with our kids and supported them. I would also like to introduce Kayla Marbach to you. I probably just said that wrong. Sorry, Kayla. Senora Marbach is part of the LTHS Strong and Vibrant World Language and Cultures Department. This is her 3rd year at the district and her 8th year teaching. She teaches Spanish 2 and 3 at East, and she previously taught Spanish 1 and 2 at Central, and now she's working on her master's. She's a very passionate instructor. A lot of times we don't always get to know some of the younger staff as they're coming in, and she definitely was somebody that we got to know because of the work she did with professional development. So very impressive. I think she made her mark, probably not realizing it. But she was willing to present at the January Institute and kind of help us out with some ideas, and honestly, she was very impressive. I've heard her name around a lot from that. So we appreciate that, her innovative, techie, tech-savvy self that she has been to help us out. She's also co-sponsor of sophomore class. She's the EdTech, she's a member of the EdTech users group, and I'm just looking, she has quite a long list here. She serves with Equity Action, and she's also on the Professional Development Committee. My favorite part is, in her words, I just genuinely love teaching Spanish and getting to know my students personally while getting them interested in language, learning, and culture. I also brought Laura Williams with me. If you've never met Laura Williams before, I would call her a teacher also. She works in the district as a paraprofessional. She is the one person I probably saw more in the building than any other person. I kept coming in the building because it was easier. I think she was here the whole time. She's a hard worker. She works so hard for the kids. So she had a lot of different roles this year that she shared with me. During remote days, her main role, along with Jenny Collins, was to meet with 7 to 22 students in the MIS. I walked through. I saw her in there. She was managing. She did a great job. These are the students that were identified as strugglers who needed extra assistance. They worked closely with the teachers and case managers to ensure the students understood and completed their work. Some of the intervention students were also enrolled in APEX, and she basically assisted those students through the process. Not only were we helping the students, she said, maintain passing grades, but we also tried to create a friendly, relaxing environment to help students cope with the emotional aspect of COVID. Now that we're all in, she mainly is working on learning skills classes, and I have to share some of the things that she does because I really didn't realize how hard she worked in her role and how passionate she was about it. Right now, she has 12 different classes that she's following in order to assist students, mainly in math and chemistry. Although it's not required, I often spend nights watching teacher videos, reading the assigned novels, and completing the homework to familiarize myself with what the students are learning. Watching the videos helps me use the same language the teachers are using when I further explain concepts to the students. I join the Google Meets, and I go into breakout rooms for the kids that need extra help. By all means, she goes above and beyond, and I think that she really is in her words, and she made sure that I was going to say this, she wanted to make sure that I stress the level of devotion of all of the paras. The risks we have been willing to take, especially those in the modified program, to make sure our students get the services they need is amazing. I am just one small example of what paraprofessionals do and the level of commitment we have towards the students' families in LTHS. And then the last person that I brought is Celia Pravda from the PE department. And I know that you guys know the PE department has totally changed this year. So that has been very interesting. She is in her 5th year teaching at Lockport. Prior to that, she taught in a middle school for 10 years. She coaches boys and girls soccer. And she also is the behind-the-wheel instructor after school and in the summer. She is involved in, again, lots of committees. I mean, I think everybody up here is involved in various committees to make this school a better place. So she is just one of our staff members that's working beyond the borders of a regular teaching day to make this better. She serves on climate committee, the grade exploration team, PLC revitalization committee, and as we've already stated, the PE department has gone through a lot of chaos this year. But I think that I have been beyond impressed at what they have done for our kids. It's been amazing. As a department, she said, we've been compassionate, accommodating, and trying to connect with all of our students. It's been a challenge, but we have managed to find creative ways to be active in PE setting, practice our SEL minis or mindful activities, and find ways to socially interact in a safe manner. I know you guys know I could go on, and I know you don't want me to go on because you have a long night ahead of you. But basically, everyone standing here, as well as those that aren't, has not only risen to the challenge of educating our students, but they've gone above and beyond. Everyone has had to take some sort of risk to make this happen, whether it was the initial health risk of just being in the building or the risk of vulnerability for trying to do something, or the risk of failure for doing something you've never done before. Everyone has had to dig deep and take apart their normal trying to adapt to the constant changes. Everyone has had to work to find new ways to connect with students, to be compassionate and accommodating. Everyone had to find ways to support students, but just as important, we had to find ways to support each other. These people are just a small sample of the amazing teaching that takes place by all of the staff. This amazing work was happening before the pandemic. The pandemic just added flexibility to our list of things that we could do. The amazing part was always there. This was just a chance to show it. So thank you for everything.
Thank you, Ms. Cooper, and on behalf of the Board of Education, thank you for sharing those thoughts and warm wishes, everything. And yes, we are, as a board, we are eternally grateful to you and to all the teachers here at LTHS, especially during this pandemic, for the hard work you have been and the dedication you showed to our students. Thank you. All right. Let's see. A designated portion of the board meeting is set aside to hear comments on topics listed on the agenda. A person wishing to speak must sign in and provide all information requested on the sign-in sheet, including the agenda item they will be addressing. The board president will call speakers up by name, announcing their time to comment. A time limit of 5 minutes per speaker per agenda topic will be imposed. The purpose of requesting such information on the sign-in sheet is to obtain the correct spelling of the name of the speaker and contact information, which will be used for any necessary board follow-up, and there is none. Okay, next, I just will do this in one motion. I just need a motion to approve the regular meeting minutes of April 19, 2021. And I'm sorry, before we start on that, on our business section, I just want to give an opportunity for parents or students if they wanted to stay or leave, you know. But thank you. Thank you again for coming, and congratulations to all of you. What is it? Oh, the rain? Oh my gosh, that's why they probably didn't want to leave. We're good. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, just need approval, one motion for the approval of regular meeting minutes of April 19th and the approval of the closed session minutes of April 19th. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Okay, it's been, wasn't it Lisa? Was it you? Okay, it's been motioned by Dr. Shaw and seconded by Ms. Bickus. Are there any questions to those regular meeting minutes or the closed session minutes? Hearing none, roll call.
Yes.
I'm sorry? It's hard to hear me? Okay.
Ready?
Might have to share it.
Johnson?
Okay.
Approving the minutes.
Bickus?
Yes.
Shaw?
Yes.
Travis?
Yes.
Lewandowski? Yes. Ives? Lopez Caniva?
Yes.
All right, next we have the approval of the discipline code. Do I have a motion for that?
So move.
Second.
All right, it's been motioned by Mr. Travis and second by Dr. Shaw. Are there any questions to that? All right, hearing none, roll call.
Ives? Yes. Shaw?
Yes.
Travis?
Yes.
Bickus?
Yes.
Lewandowski? Yes. Johnson? Yes. Lopez Caniva?
All right, motion passes. I'm just going to take this. All right, moving on. All right, a designated portion of the board meeting is set aside to hear comments on topics not listed on the agenda. A person wishing to speak must sign in and provide all information requested on the sign-in sheet, including the topic they will be addressing. The board president will call speakers up by name, announcing their time to comment. A time limit of 5 minutes per speaker per agenda topic will be imposed. The purpose of requesting such information on the sign-in sheet is to obtain the correct spelling of the name of the speaker and contact information, which will be used for any necessary board follow-up. And we do have one person, and it's a Kyra DeNormani.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kira DeNormandy, and I'm a junior here at Lockport. I'm here tonight to share with you my quarantine experience and a suggestion for improvement. I'd like to consider myself a pretty good student. I'm heavily involved in our choir and drama program here at school, and I take all AP and honors classes. However, all of these things changed 2 weeks ago when I was sent home due to being exposed to COVID here at the school. Can you get into the mic, please? Yes, I can. I remember how many kids were going to school the weeks that I was there, and it made me really nervous. Like I said, I'm heavily involved in choir and theater here, and being sent home for me could mean that I would lose the musical, which I'm very passionate about. I was so nervous, in fact, that I didn't go back to school that first week, or even on Friday, in hopes of limiting my exposure. I took every precaution, and yet on Friday afternoon, I received the call. I was sent home with little instructions, no directions, and was just told not to come back until Friday the 30th. During this period, my teachers tried their best to communicate, but many of my classes are largely lecture-based, and that sort of teaching just doesn't really translate when you're the only one at home. In moments, I went from being perfectly on top of all my classes to feeling like I was drowning in work and seeing my grades drop before my eyes. I'm one of those students who reaches out to teachers and does everything possible to stay on top of my schoolwork. I'm even very lucky to have a tutor who I can work with, a luxury that many students cannot afford. And yet, despite all of this, under this system, I found it impossible to stay afloat. And every student who I've spoken to has said the same. Now, I know it's a complicated situation, and I'm no expert, but I am one of the students this board is supposed to support. And I'm telling you, the best way you can support your students is to allow teachers to live stream their classes. Simply having them log on to Google Meet so that students at home can join and hear the lesson would make a world of difference. These students at home are struggling. They're kept away from their friends, their passions, and now their educations. Live streaming classes is simply the best solution for the time being, so I ask that you consider it. Thank you.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to enter into closed session to confidentially discuss the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of the public body or legal counsel for the public body, including hearing testimony on a complaint lodged against an employee of the public body or against legal counsel for the public body to determine its validity under ILCS 120/2C1, and collective negotiating matters between the public body and its employees or representatives, or deliberations concerning salary schedules for one or more classes of employees under Chapter 5 of the ILCS 120/2C2.
So moved. Second?
All right, it's been motioned by Ms. Bickus and second by Dr. Shaw. Roll call.
Travis?
Yes.
Ives?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
Lewandowski?
Yes.
Shaw?
Yes.
Bickus?
Yes.
Lopez Caniva?
Yes. All right, time regular session ended at 7:42, and we will be moving into the choir room.
Yeah.
Make a motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Travis and seconded by Mr. Ives. Roll call on that?
Can you get this to Kathy?
Mhm.
Thank you.
Vickers, Travis,
Yes.
Lewandowski,
Yes.
Ives,
Yep.
Johnson, Shaw,
Yes.
Lopez Caniva.
Yes. All right, now, all right, we have the canvas of the election results from the county clerk's office.
Okay, you can see, I'll jump right into it. Sine die means without a day. The old board didn't have a day left. So we have received, and you see it attached. We also have the official canvas, which I just had and I just lost in my folder here. We do have the official canvas, and the attachment indicates the numbers of votes cast. And this is the official canvas, this electronic version, which it does certify, Will County has certified that Luann Johnson and Lopez Caniva, Zion Navarra, and Michael Travis, each of the votes, the percentage of votes that they received, and their election as Board of Education members. So they are certified.
All right.
And so kind of moving on, Zion, we're seating you. So at this point, you can come on down, and join us. We'll give you a big round of applause. So in addition to congratulating Ann and Luann and Michael, who have been on the board, Zion joins us as a new board member. So congratulations to you, Zion.
Thank you.
Then I'll turn it over for the oath of office, which the oath of office, actually all board members, current and past, take the oath of office, and it is administered at this point. Since you adjourned sine die, you do not have officers. And so without a president, vice president, or secretary, the most senior member of the Board of Education, by our policy, administers the oath to all of you. So,
There you go, Mike.
Mr. Lewandowski, would you like to administer the oath to board members?
Okay, can everybody pull out their piece of paper? Can you all stand, put your hand on your heart? We're gonna do this like we did the Pledge of Allegiance.
Yeah, and Kathy, I don't know if we have a folder for Zion.
That's not funny.
Good. Oh, got it, great. Yeah, you can stand if you can. I know Mrs. Johnson.
If you
we're
can't
working
stand,
some,
just put your hand over the heart. We're gonna do it. I'll just start out and we'll all say it together. That's the easiest way. Michael, you ready?
I'm ready.
I state your name, Michael Lewandowski. You swear and affirm faithfully discharge the duties of the office of member of the Board of Education. The name
In accordance with the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and the laws of the State of Illinois, to the best of my ability.
I further swear
That I shall respect, protect, interest by serving as a faithful protector of the school district access. I shall encourage and respect the free expression of opinion by my fellow board members and others who seek a hearing before the board, while respecting the privacy of students and employees. I shall recognize that a board member has no legal authority as an individual, and that decisions can only be made by a majority vote at the public board meeting. I shall abide by majority decisions of the board while retaining the right to seek changes in such decisions through ethical and constructive channels. As part of the Board of Education, I shall accept the responsibility for my role in the equitable body of education of every student in the school district. I shall foster with the board extensive participation of the community, formulate goals, define outcomes, and set the course for District 205. I shall assist in establishing a structure and an environment designed to ensure all students have the opportunity to attain their maximum potential into a sound organizational framework. I shall strive to ensure continuous assessment of student achievement in all conditions affecting the education of our children in compliance with state law. I shall serve as education's key advocate on behalf of students in our community schools to advance the vision for District 205, and I shall strive to work together with the district superintendent to lead the school district towards fulfilling the vision the school board has created, fostering excellence for every student in areas of academic skills, knowledge, citizenship, and personal development.
The board president.
Yeah, that's.
All right.
So congratulations. Okay, at this point, you have 2 pro tem officers. This does not require a vote unless there's an objection. So typically, the superintendent serves as the president pro tem until a president is elected by a typical nomination, a second, and a roll call vote. So if there are no objections, I will serve as the president pro tem. Seeing no objections, I'll serve as the president pro tem only until the election of the board president. Need a nomination?
I'll
unless there's
nominate Ann Lopez Caniva.
Not quite yet.
Not
Michael.
quite yet.
We need a secretary, a temporary board secretary, although Kathy is the recording secretary. I would nominate her as the board secretary pro tem until there's a secretary that is elected. There are no objections? No objections noted. Great.
Another
All
title
right.
for your webpage there. Another
Okay.
title.
Then I will call to order this Board of Education and briefly explain policy 2:1-10, qualifications, terms, and duties of board officers. This board, knows and is aware of the requirements. This board elects a president, which we will do in a few moments, and policy 2:110 outlines the duty of the president. This board also elects a vice president and a secretary, in addition to Kathy Maxwell, who serves as the recording secretary as well. Furthermore, we do need to, by our own board policy, we need to select a treasurer, who is typically our director of business services, but we do need to officially do that. And then we also, by this policy, any committee heads, chairs, ISB delegates, those delegates need to be selected by this board. I'd like to open up for nominations for president of the Board of Education.
I'll nominate Ann Lopez Caniva.
Mr. Lewandowski has nominated Ann Lopez Caniva. Do you have a second of that nomination?
Second.
Luann Johnson has seconded that nomination. Kathy, can you take a roll call of the board?
Johnson?
Yes.
Shaw?
Yes.
Travis?
Yes.
Lewandowski?
Yes.
Ives?
Yes.
Navarro?
Yes.
Lopez Caniva?
Yes.
Do you vote for yourself?
Thank you.
The president pro tem did not ask if there are any other nominations. My apologies. You were a better president pro tem than I. Seeing none, unless there are some, that motion would pass. Congratulations, Ann.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you.
And Ann, I'll turn it over to you.
All right, now I need a nomination for vice president.
I nominate Dick Ives. Okay. I'll second it.
All right, are there any other nominations for vice president? All right, hearing none, then I guess it's roll call.
Shaw?
Yes.
Lewandowski?
Yes.
Navarro?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
Ives?
Sure, I'll vote for myself.
Travis?
Yes.
Lopez Caniva?
Yes,
was an easy
congratulations,
one.
Dick. All right, and now I need a motion for nomination of secretary.
I nominate Miss Dr. Veronica Shaw.
I second.
Nomination, all right, it's been motion and second to have Dr. Veronica Shaw as our secretary. Are there any other nominations for secretary? Hearing none, roll call.
Navarro?
Yes.
Travis?
Yes.
Lewandowski?
Yes.
Ives?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
Shaw? Lopez Caniva?
Yes.
I guess if you vote for yourself, that means you're accepting the nomination. Because we never asked the candidate, do you want it?
All right, appointment of the board recording secretary.
This particular case, the board does not need to vote.
Okay.
Again, if there are no objections, Kathy Maxwell, typical that the superintendent's administrative assistant serves as your board recording secretary. So if there are no objections, seeing none, you take over, Madam President.
Do
It
we
looks
need a
like
roll
Kathy.
call for that?
You do not need a
No,
roll
there's no
call.
vote.
Okay, no vote. Okay, then we need an appointment of the board treasurer. And I appoint.
Similarly, typically the Director of Business
Mhm.
Services serves in this capacity, and it's simply an opportunity if there is an objection for the board to discuss for that. And I'll turn it back over to you, Mrs. Lopez Caniva.
All right, establish regular meeting dates, times, and place.
The board meetings are listed here for board members who might not have board docs open and be fired up. This is, it keeps the third of the month except for times where there are holidays. So for example, upcoming meetings would be May 17th, 2021, June 21st, 2021, July 19th, August 16th, September 20th, for example. This does not require a vote by the board. It's really set by the board president and the superintendent, but it's established for our public so that they know that we can post this and they can count on a regular, basis what our meetings are.
Okay.
We would meet in the Porter Room, and the address is listed 1333 East 7th Street at East Campus.
Okay, thank you. All right, now we can appoint our committee representatives. So I'd like to appoint Luann Johnson as our IASB representative still.
Second.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. All right. Next, we need do we need a liaison for for the foundation?
Do we need one?
Do we need one? Do we?
Yeah, I mean, we have one. I
We
don't,
have,
yeah. I
yes,
mean,
okay,
it's-
all right.
But I'd also like to, through the process, I want to bring Zion into that process so he gets to see how that interacts, so.
Okay,
I'll be inviting you to some foundation meetings.
right.
What is this foundation?
It's the Lockport High School Foundation
For the school. For the school.
for the school.
Yeah, he'll explain it. Okay.
I'll
He'll
explain
explain.
it all to you.
All right.
But yeah, but it will, it's on Thursdays. Right now, it's at 4:00 in the afternoon, but I mean, if you have work schedules and things like that. But I just think it'd be a good way, you can learn and meet some more people.
As long as I get like a week off, I can usually say something, or a week's notice, I can.
I was gonna say, a week off, I wish I had a week off. No, there's a whole schedule that comes out. Kathy, you work with Kathy Dean, and I'll take it, we'll talk.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, thank you. All right. Are there any other? That's it, right? That's about it. Those are the other two.
Unless the board would like to appoint, and all these appointments can be by the president or with objection unless you want to have an IASB alternative backup delegate. For example, if Mrs. Johnson wasn't able to attend or do something, but it's not required. So unless you want someone to be the backup.
To be the backup.
She always goes.
Yeah, should be all right.
She'll be all right.
It's up to you.
Okay. We can appoint someone if Miss Luann Johnson can attend.
Michael, in case something
Okay,
comes up.
something. Okay. All right, Michael, you're backup. All right. Any announcements?
Just a few announcements. They're in the board's agenda. Technically, advanced placement across the country starts today. We're not starting today because, like so many organizations, advanced placement has stretched it out. There's 3 phases. Some schools will still be testing in June because of the pandemic. May 5th and May 12th, we're required to take the Illinois State Science Assessment. A little bit surprised that we're still doing these large census assessments, but all juniors, half of our juniors will be here on Wednesday, the other half the next Wednesday. Thursday night, you're all invited, 6:30 p.m. in the auditorium. Our Junior Air Force ROTC has its awards night. That's 6:30 p.m. this coming Thursday in the auditorium. This Friday, you're all invited as well. We believe we might have Mayor Steve Straight. We have the Mayor of Crest Hill. We have Chief Terry Lemming coming to our final Police Youth Forum of the year. just an open discussion that our Student Equity Action Committee has had with our public safety officers, 2 community service officers from Lockport Police. So we've tried to create a little bit bigger halo.
When is it gonna be?
I'm sorry, what?
When is it gonna be?
It's this Friday, 3 p.m. We're getting a final RSVP list to know what the location will be. Size will determine, venue, and I'll get that out to the board just to let you know.
But it will be in person?
It will be in person. We've just found that the in-person conversation between youth and police, it's richer, right? Then it was very challenging with these intense issues when we were online. Monday, I apologize, I wrote May 17th. I must have my brother's, it is Monday, May 17th, which is my brother's birthday on my mind, is our regular Board of Education meeting in the Porter Room. That has been revised itself. That actually also will be in the auditorium. It's our last chance to congratulate our Illinois State scholars, band, choir, all state. So we'll have a repeat of this setup next month. And then finally, Wednesday, May 19th is Senior Award Night, 7 p.m. East Campus Auditorium. Nice to have that back on. We had a very nice top 10 recognition that Rotary led. Thank you very much to Dick Ives. Great event. That's it.
That's it. All right, just need then a motion to adjourn.
Make that motion.
Second?
It's been motioned by Mr. Travis and second by Dr. Shaw to adjourn.
I missed my wife.
Need a
Your
voice,
favorite thing?
Oh,
need a voice vote?
Did you guys already close?
Roll call.
Lewandowski?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
Ives?
Yes.
Shaw?
Yes.
Navarra?
Yes.
Travis?
Yes.
Lopez Caniva?
Yes.
So Bob, the 17th is gonna be back in the auditorium.
Yeah, just like.